themselves. And so I will be reaching out to the mayor, the city manager, and my colleagues about what we can do to provide a rapid response to some of the things that are occurring throughout the city, because many of the initiatives that I just mentioned we're currently doing already. We just need to change the gas in it from regular to premium and spotlight it so that the community will know. It'll be a combination of both, right? But some, like getting additional police officers to have a task force that's specifically related to transit is a budgetary item that's not in CMPD's budget or our budget. I'm willing to fund that. We have a meeting on the 22nd, I think, where we talk about a memorandum of understanding with the private security firm. I'm going to read that very, very clearly because I believe CMPD should be in the driver's seat of any public safety initiative related to transit, so that we want to have this dual thing about who's on first, who's on second, or whose jurisdiction it is.
Are we for or against taxpayers paying the bill for something? A lot of people are talking about that they're worried that this is going to hit right in the pocket. Security is a great thing, but people are also worried about finances and economy.
We have a budget debate every year, and I'm pretty sure that will be a part of the budget debate, not only as it relates to public safety, but relates to how we do a wide variety of city initiatives. That question is to be answered.
Malcolm, the Transportation Secretary basically said, why would we give billions of dollars to Charlotte or any city for expansion when they can't protect what they have? How would you protect the other, going all the way up to Davidson, Cornelius, if you can't protect what you have?
Well, again, I'm going to work with our federal partners, whether it's USDOT, whether it's the state auditor's office, to listen and learn in reference to what their perspectives are. They may have some ideas that we don't, I don't know, but hopefully we will continue to provide the oversight necessary for public safety on all our lines. Again, no one understands the sudden loss of life of a loved one, and an unexpected loss of life. I talked to my sister on a Monday, and that Wednesday she was gunned down in a church. Right, so my heart goes out to the victim's family, her friends, her loved ones, and we should address this issue forthright. But I think my goal is to have a broader perspective about our city. Our city is a great city. Crime, no one cares about the crime data right now, because if you don't feel safe, you're not safe, right? And so how can we work collectively with all our partners, our healthcare institutions on mental health, our county partners with the health department, our nonprofit organizations, our grassroots organizations on youth, right? How collectively can we all work together to impact the perception of crime in our community, but also the reality? Because 2 days ago, a young man, 2 individuals were killed in Charlotte, and nobody mentioned anything about it. So it's all of us. And so I'll let the federal government and the state government do what they have to do. I can't control that. I'm going to focus on things that I can control locally on behalf of the citizens of Charlotte.
I guess as a city leader, can you explain, and it's the big question, why isn't there people checking tickets? Why isn't there security on the light rails? It's been that way for years with the honor system. Why has it been that way?
Well, the system was designed that way from the get-go, right? It's an open, fair system, right? And you were at the meeting, right? You heard the explanation. It doesn't change. And so I think, again, I'm not going to play Monday quarterback and think why those decisions were made 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago. I can control how we move forward, right? And that's what I will continue to do.
Malcolm, one thing. We've seen this receive national attention, and we've also noticed how Trump's spoken about this, and he's also talked about bringing National Guard to places like Los Angeles to tackle safety concerns. Do you think we're at a point where the National Guard needs to be brought to Charlotte to tackle safety concerns?
Again, I'm going to focus on things that I can control. I can't control what happens and what's coming out of D.C. I can't control what's coming out of Raleigh. I can control, as one council member, the actions that we can take in reference to ensuring that our neighborhoods are safe, that our corridors are safe, that our businesses are safe, that we create a safe environment for tourism and travel in our community, and then I'll let the other guys do what they got to do. I'm just not going to go there.
And what can you as local leaders do to address concerns or support people that might be dealing with mental health challenges but also repeat offenders? How do you balance that and overcome those challenges?
Well, we continue to work with our partners. Again, public safety is a team sport, you know. It's the city, it's the county, it's the state, it's our nonprofit organizations. Again, this type of collaboration is not new. We've been doing this before, and we will continue to do it. We just need to, again, be a lot more visible in what we're doing and why we're doing. Like, for example, I serve on an uptown safety task force. I've been serving on that task force for months. I'm working on an initiative with Friendship CDC to tackle crime along Councilman Simmons. I've been working on it for months. I've been supporting the alternative violence program, walking the street with some of those guys that patrol some of our corridors of opportunity. So a lot of work is already being done, right? And so I think we need to meet the moment, right? Someone was tragically killed, but then I think we need to be, we need to block out the noise and focus on the work. And the work for me is local. The work for me is things that I can control within my sphere of influence, and I will continue to do that.
Have you or anyone else in City Council had any communication with the victim or the perpetrator?
I have not. I can't speak for others.
Councilmember, you mentioned a lot of collaboration between city, state, transit, and county as well. Where does the buck stop? Where does the buck stop?
Who's ultimately responsible?
When we're talking about making a successful transit system, who's responsible?
All of us. Because even our citizens, if you see something, say something, right? So there's a responsibility on us as citizens. Obviously, the city, the county, we all are in this together. Ultimately, as of right now, the system is under the direction of the city of Charlotte.
Councilman, is there a specific policy or ordinance that you're ready to put in front of council to vote on that would achieve what you're talking about?
I'm still quietly working, not quietly now, right, with the city attorney's office about some initiatives that I'm very concerned about along the Beatty-Short Road corridor in terms of absentee landlords, watering, open-air drug sales, etc. Business owners that allow drug use on their property, and so I'm working with the city attorney's office. I think we ought to, within the next week or two, talk about how do we, moving forward, patrol the CAT system. Again, I want CMPD officers doing that type of work, leading the way. And there's some other things I want to talk with my colleagues about. One council member can't do anything by themselves, right? And so I want to collaborate with others to see if we can have a really proactive response.
Councilman, you're talking a lot about local response and focusing on that. I'm wondering whether you see any role for the business community in this. I mean, it's inherently a government issue, security, but is there any aspect of government?
Yeah. You know, I think we've already seen the model, right? The model is when we were trying to go after the transit tax. Everyone leaned in, the city, the county, the business community. We all need to lean in, going to Raleigh, asking for additional support for the DA's office, right? If you want to stop repeat offenders, they need the resources to process the cases. I've been a state senator for 10 years, and we've been asking for years and years and years for additional resources so that we can meet the moment here locally. So I think the corporate community definitely needs to work with us there. Our healthcare institutions, Novant and Atrium, on the healthcare side of mental illness and substance abuse. So I think, again, a team approach is necessary, but what people don't want is more meetings. We don't want any more meetings. We have to meet and then measure what we decide that we're going to do and then put it in action. All right. So if I could pivot right quickly since I got all this attention. There's a tennis tournament this weekend. It's called the Charlotte Amateur Tennis Championship. I host it every year. We got over 350 players playing to support the Cynthia Graham Foundation. As you know, we've been trying to bring big-time tennis to Charlotte. The Invitational, the Charlotte Invitational, again, is this year in December with Venus Williams and Madison Keys and T. Eiffel and Taylor Fritz. And so we continue to work on tennis in this community. And if you're free and available, I would love for you guys to come out and see what we're doing with the tournament. We're having a workshop clinic for about 70 kids from the Greater Richmond program, giving them tennis lessons. And that's part of this public safety thing too. We got to keep our kids occupied and focused and activities so they won't have idle minds. And so I had a whole lot to do, but I think you guys probably got what you wanted. Any additional questions?
Going back to what you were saying earlier about safety, are there any sort of short-term or what can people expect to see change within the next coming weeks or coming months? That's like short-term solutions.
Well, I think you've already seen it already, right? There's a more intentional police presence here at the stations, on the platforms, as well as on the buses and trains. An escalation within the next 2 weeks that we'll have a conversation at council about a memorandum of understanding between CMPD and private policing. I think you'll see that. And I think you'll see, again, the Public Safety Committee continue to do the work that they've already started in terms of youth prevention and crime. So again, my goal is to recognize what happened, but also recognize that we have to make sure that the entire city itself is safe and secure.
Is there any concern about over-policing in that case?
No. I think we need less guns, more cops, and more resources for mental illness and the DA's office.
Malcolm, could any of the money, if the tax passes, could any of that money be used for transit-related security?
I don't know specifically. I would say yes, though, right? I mean, if part of establishing a new system is protecting the system. So I would think that they should, but you might want to fact check that. I'm not sure.
Is that something you would want?
Yeah, of course. They got billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. You're not going to the DOP with me.
I may show up.
You ain't? Okay.
Where's that at?
It's at Parkwood.
Parkwood.
It's right past 36th Street, right rail station.
Parkwood.
At 27 Parkwood Avenue at 11 a.m.
All right. Hang on 1 second, Gary.
There you go.
We got a new cut.